Hello, my name is Izak Arwan, class of 2017. I am currently a enlistman in police force, the Singapore Police Force. I received my enlistment letter maybe 1 month before my enlistment day, so it was kind of hectic. A lot of my friends have received their enlistment letter about 5 months in advance. My enlistment date specifically was still kind of the same as everyone else's, 15th of August, 2017. Although I say same because most people were fit intake, which get a 2-month reduction in NS, so they most likely entered in October, where I didn't pass my IPPT, which is a basic fitness gram, and I had to do the extra 2 months. It's a bit different but for international students than the regular local Singaporean students. If you go to a public school in Singapore, typically the NS structure is it's built in within the school itself. So there are, I guess, to compare it to SAS, how we used to have the mile and whatnot, it's similar to that where there would be regular IPPTs and you could actually use those results in the IPPT in your actual NS life. So the IPPT specifically is a fitness gram which composes of as many push-ups as you can in a minute, as many sit-ups as you can in a minute, and then a 2.4 kilometer run as fast as you can, which is about 1.5 miles. And to get the full 100 points, you have to do 60 push-ups, 60 sit-ups, and at least 8 minutes, 30 seconds for a 2.4 kilometer. After the IPPT, or before, really you can take the IPPT whenever you want. It's a bit harder when you don't go to a local school. You have to go to an external website to sign up for it. But before you even go into NS, you have to go through the medical at the Central Manpower Base, and typically it's to see if you're combat fit or if there are any discrepancies in your health. When I went for my medical, everything was fine, but they noticed an irregular heartbeat, so I had to go through a bunch of extra medical tests, but at the end of the day, I was fine. I was expecting to go to the Army, just like everyone else, but I got police force, and it's been a while since someone at SAS has been in the police force. For the class of 2017 that you may all know to be NS men are currently in the Army, and typically you can kind of see the culture if you watch Boys to Men, the movie, but it's a bit different for police force. They have to be a little bit more composed because they're, in a sense, kind of the face of law and government in Singapore. Everything that I had mentally prepared for was useless at that point. I trained at Home Team Academy, and that's the police academy over at Choa Chu Kang by Kranji Expressway. And I trained for about 6 months, yeah. It was from August 15th all the way to January 20th. I was also the only international person there. People who are like Malay typically go to the police force. I mean, that's the stigma. I'm not saying it's the official rule, but typically that is the case. The most known word for like white person in Singapore is like angmo, but I was never called angmo, surprisingly. Although I didn't fit in exactly, I wasn't an outcast either. I was also the youngest, almost the youngest. There were a couple of other 18-year-olds, but most of the national servicemen defer for Polytechnic and do their studies first or do whatever they need to do first and then go in. So most of them are about 20 plus. Oldest that I know of was about 25. Branches of NS that you could go into, there's Singapore Armed Forces, Singapore Police Force, and Singapore Civil Defense Force. So all those acronyms, SAF, SPF, SCDF. And typically what those entail, so since Civil Defense Force is a little bit more broad, so typically civil defense is pertaining of firemen and medical NS men. there's a lot of different vocations that really either are the force itself or supporting the force. If NS has made me really realize something about myself, it's yes, I am Singapore by blood. I was raised in Singapore. Singapore is technically my home. In truth, I am not actually Singaporean at my core. Since I went to SAS, I'm kind of a lot of different things. I am who I am because of all the different people I've met. I'm kind of just a big puzzle that takes a piece from different people I meet that kind of make up who I am. I mean, I can definitely get along with everyone else in NS, but at the end of the day, no matter how close I am with them, there's gonna be that one wall, which is the, I guess, international school experience that they'll never be able to cross over into until they've done something at least somewhat similar. For me, my vocation has given me a little bit more free time, a little bit more leeway to kind of, I guess, do what I want in a sense, which is very different from most NS men, especially the ones that you may know about from SAS. Some of them have to stay on camp, but some of them get to go home. But most of the time they have to like change into their full uniform and book into camps. With the free time that it has, like for example, I finish every day at 6. Typically in those hours I can, I guess, study for the SAT and kind of just do outside courses that are available. When you go to SAS, there's kind of like a status quo, like everyone's gonna go and apply to this school, these big name schools, like, oh, we're all going to the US, and of course, growing up here, oh, me too, but at the end of the day, I'm also not a US citizen, so it's super expensive if I were to go over there, and being in NS has allowed me to step away from the big picture and just focus on realizing, oh, this is not beneficial to me at all. Like, this is how student loans and debts start. It's really allowed me to kind of focus in on what I really want to do without worrying about APs or upcoming exams. Expect the unexpected. I mean, I feel like that's kind of the typical thing that is said about NS, but really it's true. There are some things that will stay constants, and there will be once in a while there'll be a variable that comes out of nowhere. Like, for example, expect to go into army, but you get into police and you're completely dumbfounded by the fact you're going into police, so you have to completely prepare yourself for a brand new experience that no one else may have had or no one else may really know. On the bright side, even though a majority of you might be going to army, there's at least a ton of predecessors that you can talk to that have been at SAS that know what's gonna happen here, what's gonna happen there. Embrace it, because it's 2 years of your life. It's gonna happen. You decide how to spend it.